Good afternoon. It is Friday time, lunchtime, those collaborations time, and welcome to another lunch break live here in the studio. This is turning into the place with honest conversations and honest exploration, helping people who are growing or starting businesses to understand the journey that you're going to go on and not bring you those polished performances necessarily. So we're really excited to be with you. The lunch break live is moving home slightly. We've moved it across to the business pages so that we can grow and scale the audience. So if you are going to be watching a lunch break live, you will see it coming live from those collaborations Facebook page. You will see it live from the YouTube channel, and you will also see it live from our Instagram home soon, those collaborations. So we are going to be using those three channels to now grow the audience and grow Lunch Break Live as a show. So if you are watching, then please say hi, join us, and post in the comments and let us know you're with us. Also, if you're watching on replay, don't forget to put hashtag replay. You can still comment. We'll still see those comments and come back to you. So that's brilliant. So, well, like I said, we've changed because we want to grow and scale the audience now and make sure we can reach out to wider people. We launched last week our community, which is going really well. Those Collaborations Lounge, we're really excited about that. And you will see on our Facebook business page this week, there'll be another post talking a little bit more about that, so you can find out more about that. And today's session, we wanted to bring those kind of practical tips for business owners, things that you can kind of think about from learned experience, and not just ourselves, but also working with other customers and people that we work with who are building their businesses to really help you grow and go forward. So this week, I wanted to talk about some practical tips, and you're going to find this with Lunch Break Live. We are going to try and bring you as many guests as possible. We're going to have guests on, but we're also going to have sessions where actually we come in and bring those things that are really going to help you grow. And that's one of those with this week. So we wanted to explore a few different areas around all the exciting things that you get to do with business, like planning, budgeting, contracts, all those things. But this is an honest conversation. So again, pop things in the comments. If you want to find out a bit more about us, obviously you've got our website, www.thosecollaborations.co.uk. You can look at there. You can also find us on the various different social media platforms and our YouTube channels we've mentioned. And for those that are thinking, actually, do you know what? I'd like to be a guest on the show. You can sign up and share your interest with us, that you would like to come on board and have a chat about your early days, have a chat about what you do, and bring some of these honest conversations. So let's get into today then. Like I said, don't forget, say hi, share your questions and comments. And if you're on replay, hashtag replay. So let's start talking about planning, because in the early years, what we found all too often is people decide to start a business and they log on to different forums, different internet sites. They do Google searches, they do AI searches. What do I need? And it comes up with all these things that traditionally people have used with starting a business. And when you're starting a business, especially if you're starting as a sole trader and self-employed on your own, then there's only one of you. And all these things can get really overwhelming and actually take away what you really need to be doing, which is taking the action and growing your business. So one of the things is planning. People get very hung up on planning. And I am a believer you need some sort of plan. You need an idea of where you're going and what you're trying to achieve to help keep direction in your business. But I'm also a believer that the traditional business plans out there don't work for people. And we found it more and more. Finding the right plan right now for you is the idea. And you kind of need that adaptable plan that will help you to flex and grow. It's important you're going to have a plan that you're going to work with. You're going to have a plan that's going to make you take action. It keeps it simple. Use language that you're used to. Don't use language that you see in templates, because that's not you talking, and ultimately your plan needs to be talking to you. It needs to be working with you. So yeah, I would always say use a plan that's going to work for you. Use a plan that's simple. Use a plan that focuses on where you are right now and where you need to be going. And keep it practical. Keep it simple steps. Don't be focusing on the 7 figures if you've not even got your first customer through the door. That might be ultimately in 5 years' time where you want your business to be, but success in business is not necessarily about the money. The money doesn't determine how good your business is, how many people it's helped, what impact you've had in your area or your what I call real world, because the real world is not global domination for everyone. But keep a plan that's flexible, keep a plan that works for you, and keep a plan that's ultimately simple when you're starting out, that really focuses on the things you need to get going. And that kind of leans on to as well, a lot of people will build a business plan and they'll build the finances into it. They'll build complicated spreadsheets, they'll build complicated financial plans, cash flow forecasting. Your business has just started. And if you've never been in business before, how on earth are you going to do a cash flow forecast over what's going to happen over the next 2 years? Keep a simple budget plan in place. That's your second tip. Keep your budget plan really simple. What money is being spent out each month? What money is coming in each month? And if you've got some of those things that are going to be regular, start to look a few months ahead so you can start to plan a little bit about what do you spend, how much do you spend, how much do you take out, how much do you invest. You can ask those simple questions with a very simple way of budgeting. Think about it as a survival budget so that you can pay your bills, you can live a little bit, and you can run your business successfully. And the key thing is you want more coming in than going out. That's the simplicity of it. But take away the complicated, overwhelming budget finance plans that you can see out there, because unless you are going to go for loans from the bank, unless you are going to look at taking on investors and things like that at the start, you really just need something that shows keeping it ticking over and moving forward and allow you to do a little bit of planning. So budgeting is something that I would always keep really simple. And even now in our business, we keep it as simple as we possibly can, to make sure that we can plan ahead, we can look ahead, but we're not overwhelmed with lots of figures, information and stuff that we're just not going to look at. Avoiding restrictive contracts. This is something that we learn as a business very much in the early days. We signed on to some long-term contracts and then found we had a large outgoing, but actually it wasn't delivering what we thought it was going to deliver. It wasn't delivering what the conversation had suggested. And although it was doing what it said, it wasn't delivering the results we thought we might see in the early days. So when you're in your early days of your business, just be mindful. If you're taking on some sort of ongoing payment, you're agreeing something where you're going to be collaborating with the company to help you supply what you need to do in your business. Just think, actually, I need that flexibility. Does the agreement work? Is it manageable long term if all of a sudden that income isn't there, or the income gets reduced? And is it really going to lead to what I need right now? Is it going to build those customers right now? Is it going to grow the income right now? Is it going to raise awareness of the business right now in the right way for you? Because you could sign up for something that you think, great, that's going to give me some great marketing, and actually it doesn't work out for you. So just be mindful of what you're signing up for and keep contracts as shorter term as possible in the early days. And look, is there any break clauses that you can have within that contract to kind of get out of that contract if it's not working? So those are some tips around planning, some budgeting, some restrictive contracts that we've all found that have helped us, helped people we've worked with, and lessons we've learned along the way. So like I said, if you're watching, say hi in the comments. If you are watching on replay, don't forget the hashtag replay in there so we know that you've been watching this afterwards. Also, as we said, if you wanted to come and be a guest on the show, then you can sign up to be a guest on thosecollaborations.co.uk/lunchbreak-live. And really just have that flexibility and adaptability. I think that's the common thing that's coming through this. But don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you will in the early days. You're going to learn from what you do. You're going to learn from the things that you do. But the focus is things that are going to help you grow and things that are not going to restrict you. So I think next is goal setting, because again, when you're on a journey, the problem you often find is that you set goals and actually you don't know what you're trying to aim for, or you don't know how to measure them. You don't know what is going to be realistic, what is going to be challenging. Sometimes, this is your first time sometimes building a business, and actually people really struggle with this. So I always say, look at outcome focused goals. What is it you want to achieve? So let's take social media, for example. You've started growing your social media audience. You think, right, okay, first step I want to get to is 50 followers. And people think, okay, that's not a large number. If you consider how many people are on social media, how many people are in the world, 50 people is not a lot of people. But actually, the work that goes into finding those 50 people could be more than you're thinking. And then when you've got those 50 followers, they're not necessarily going to engage and interact with you. So as you're growing, you've got to think about, how do I get these people working? But when you set that goal, set it as an outcome focused goal, because that's really what you're aiming for. And then you can build the steps towards that goal, and you're working towards your things that are results, things that you want to achieve. Setting goals of achieving £50,000 in your business when you've not achieved £1 can feel like quite overwhelming, and can feel that actually maybe that's not the outcome I need to focus on right now. It might be 2 years down the line, but right now the outcome focused goals that are going to help you plan your day and plan where you put in are going to be things like focus on getting 1 customer a week, focus on getting 10 customers a week, focus on getting, my first £1,000 in the business. And then you can break down the steps. How am I going to do that? What are the different things I need to do? And that will really help you keep focused, and use some of the tools and systems that we now have within technology that will allow you to do that, but use ones that you're going to use. Just introduce things slowly, rather than setting 15 goals that you then don't work on. Just set 1 or 2. Set 1 or 2 outcomes to grow my followers on Facebook. Start off with that, right? How am I going to grow them? Where am I going to find them? There are other social media platforms as well. We're coming to you from Facebook, we're coming to you from YouTube, but there are other options that might be more suitable for you. If you think about the money, okay, how are you going to get that? How are people going to pay you? If it's not coming in, what do you need to do to change it? But big goals into manageable actions is what you're looking for. And then I think it's starting to look at your capacity, because often, again, energy goes and people burn out because they over promise themselves on what they can deliver, and they add too many things to their list that they need to achieve. Their capacity diminishes very, very quickly. We only have a certain amount of time in each day, and if there's only 1 of you or 2 of you working on this, you're really going to struggle. So you need to build things that are going to be sustainable. This is, in business, I often say to people, think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. You don't need to be the quickest and the fastest at getting to something. Yes, you want some urgency, but you do not need to achieve it all yesterday. Contrary to popular belief, you are not going to have 1,000 customers in a week if you're on zero. You're not going to have £1 million turnover in the first 3 months, 6 months, year. Yes, technology is enabling us to move very fast, but often those people that achieve those things very quickly, you're seeing the last part of the dream. You're seeing the last part of the mountain they've climbed. You're not seeing the bits that have gone before that. So manage your capacity and just think, realistically, how long is it going to take me to do these things? Have I got capacity? Where am I fitting that into my day and my diary? And it's easier said than done, because we'll all sit here and say this, but you can guarantee anyone who is running or owning a business will always put themselves into more than they have capacity or energy for. So when you can start to outsource those things, outsource what you can, that allows you to grow. So those are kind of the 5 tips that I really wanted, and it does make it a shorter session today, but it's have an adaptable plan that works for you right now, 1-2 pages at the most. Have a very simple budgeting system. Avoid restrictive long-term contracts to start off with. Have outcome-focused goals, and manage your capacity and energy, because a lot of people in the early days will look for motivation and they'll say, I need to motivate myself. Motivation burns very quickly. What you need is sustainable habits. You need disciplines, and those are habits that you do day in, day out and become automatic. You need those because they will keep you going when the motivation disappears. So it's been great. It's been a shorter lunch break live this week, but it's been great to share some of that with you as an audience and share that stuff. And we are really excited about where Lunch Break Live is heading. We're really looking forward to growing the audience. You can see we've got one of our banners in the background around thinking spaces, which is a great place to get some focused time. So it's something that people can explore as and when they want to. You'll find more information about Thinking Spaces on our website, www.thosecollaborations.co.uk. So please do go on there, see some of the things we do, see some of the things we're working on. This is a really exciting time in the world of supporting those business owners that are starting growing in their first 3 years, from idea to 3 years in business. And we're really excited about the journey that's happening. So join us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get reminders of when this is on. Subscribe to Those Collaborations Facebook page as well, so you can get the reminders when we go live. We will be live every Friday at 12 p.m, bringing you a show with guests, with ourselves, sharing information, sharing tips, sharing knowledge, and helping people to move forward in their journey as business owners. It's been great to be with you. It's been great to have another Friday, and we really look forward to next week when we bring you another show and another Lunch Break Live. Until then, take care. Have a great week.